Isitulo keke isitulo ngapha sadalink no cela umntwana asondele eze ngapha awezithi Zowazi pick up noma zethu kusondela kancane lamamaki. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. My name is Thulasizwe Buthelezi, the traditional Prime Minister to His Majesty the King and the Zulu Nation. Maybe before we begin, may I introduce the delegation which is here. On my right is Inkosi Pathisizwe Chileza. Inkosi Chileza is the Deputy Prime Minister of the Zulu Nation. Currently serves as an executive member in the National House of Traditional Leaders. Next to Inkosi is Prince Simpiwe Zulu of Gwamenya, from the King's Office. On my left is Prince Bambindlovu, who is the King's younger brother, the Prince of Kwakhangela. Next to the Prince is Prince Vanana Zulu, who is the commander of the regiments Amabutho, together with Induna Usipho Mhlongo, who is here with other Izinduna. And on the far left is Mr. Nyawo, who is the chairperson of Usuthu Traditional Council. With us are members of the royal family and also Izinduna, who have been sent by His Majesty to be with us. I will read the statement, which reads as follows. His Majesty King Misuzulu Gazwelithini has requested me to convey his well wishes and congratulations to Bafana Bafana for their heroism and warrior spirit in reaching the semi-finals of the AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast. His Majesty encourages all South Africans to rally behind Bafana Bafana as they proceed to the semi-finals as a stepping stone to ultimate victory in the final. On the 27th of January 2024, His Majesty appointed me as Traditional Prime Minister to the Zulu Nation. Inkosi Pathisizwe Chileza was appointed as the Deputy Traditional Prime Minister. As I've said, Inkosi Chileza is the former chairperson of the KZN House of Traditional Leaders and currently serves on the EXCO of the National House of Traditional Leaders. We both accept this honor with humility, reverence, and obedience. I am a direct descendant of Pungashe Gangwane, who was Inkosi of the Buthelezi clan when King Shaka assumed the throne to unite all clans into the mighty Zulu nation. My forebears left Mcagweni, present-day Babanango, when King Shaka defeated Pungashe in battle. Pungashe's two children, Matotwane, from whose lineage I am a descendant, and his elder sister Telezile, led a group of their clansmen and sought refuge under the Mdlalose clan of KwaHlahlindlela, where the Mdlalose clan allocated land to Pungashe's children, which stretches from present-day Telezini in Abaqulusi to the banks of the Jojosi River in Ngutu. And this is where my family resides to this day, at Oyengweni Homestead. My great-great-grandfather, Mswazi Kamatotwane, fought at the Battle of Isandlwane and distinguished himself under the Ingoba Makhosi Regiment. My father, Bishop Lawrence Buthelezi, Nicholas Gatsheni, Mswazi, Kamatotwane, Pungashe, was spiritual advisor to King Zwelithini Zulu during the erstwhile KwaZulu government, and served the king until he passed away in 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the royal family, I have gone into some detail about my family background to show that my ties to the royal house do not start today. The Buthelezis have had a long and enduring relationship with the royal family, dating back to the founder of the Zulu nation, King Shaka Kasenzangakhona. I am the product and protege of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who served for 69 years as Prime Minister of the Zulu nation under three kings. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi had a vision for the Zulu nation anchored on the protection of our heritage, land, and culture. As Prime Minister to the monarch and Zulu nation, I am the custodian of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's legacy of African indigenous knowledge and leadership systems. My task is to complete the unfinished business and mission to which Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi dedicated his whole life and political career, which is the recognition of the Zulu kingdom and the restoration of the powers, roles, and functions of traditional leaders in the whole of South Africa, and for these issues to be enshrined in the Constitution. His Majesty has declared the year 2024 as the year of peace and unity to revive Zulu pride and dignity. And this theme is a clarion call for all members of the Zulu nation to uphold the values of this in their daily work, in their social life, and in their pronouncements. As political parties campaign for the national and provincial elections, His Majesty implores that all campaigning must take place in a spirit and an environment of peace, tolerance, and mutual respect. His Majesty has declared that the statue of his father, King Zwelithini kaBhekuzulu, which has been erected in Ulundi, will be officially unveiled on the 12th of March 2024. This date marks the 3-year anniversary since the passing of our beloved late King, and further details around this event will be announced in due course. His Majesty has declared that the statue of King Shaka, erected at the King Shaka International Airport, will be officially unveiled on 27 April 2024. This date marks 30 years since our country achieved freedom. The foundation for the struggle against colonialism was laid by King Cetshwayo Kampande at Isandlwane and sustained by his heir, King Dinuzulu, who was imprisoned and exiled for his defense of the land. The struggle for liberation was kept alive by King Dinuzulu's grandson, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who kept the torch of liberation burning inside the country when other leaders were in exile or on Robben Island. And right up until, together with President Nelson Mandela, Prince Buthelezi became one of the architects of our democracy. His Majesty has therefore declared that a special memorial service for AmaKhosi and AmaButho in honor of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi will take place in May at Nongoma on a date to be confirmed with the family of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. This event will honor the life of Prince Buthelezi as the longest-serving Prime Minister in Zulu history and as Commander-in-Chief of AmaButho. The purpose of all these events, ladies and gentlemen, Nena Besilo, is to inculcate a sense of pride, especially amongst the youth of the Zulu nation. Recruitment for new members of the young regiment, known as Isilwaneche, which was commissioned by His Majesty at Isandlwane, will take place in all districts of KwaZulu-Natal, led by the commanders of the regiments, Prince Vanana of Kwamenya and Induna Sipho Mhlongo. His Majesty is hopeful that the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal will come up with practical solutions and measures to protect AmaKhosi, as AmaKhosi have now become the daily target of killings in the province. His Majesty wishes to see AmaKhosi play a more significant and hands-on role in the governance of Ingonyama Trust. As such, His Majesty has embarked upon wide consultation as to whether it is still necessary and ideal for Ingonyama Trust to be under the auspices of the Minister of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, 30 years into democracy. Are AmaKhosi that illiterate and incapable of running their own affairs, that they must still report and be supervised by a minister sitting in Cape Town about their own land, which they inherited from their forefathers? Why must the land of the Zulu people be administered in Cape Town when AmaKhosi have their own governance structures which are closer to the people and recognized in law, such as the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders? As the sole trustee of Ingonyama Trust, His Majesty holds the land in trust on behalf of the Zulu nation, and His Majesty will do everything in his power to protect, preserve, and develop the land for the benefit of the Zulu nation. In order to develop the knowledge and leadership base of AmaKhosi in preparation for their future role in the governance of Ingonyama Trust, His Majesty's office has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National School of Government to train 200 AmaKhosi in KwaZulu-Natal in the following areas. 1, empowering AmaKhosi to act as economic change agents in their communities. 2, transferring new knowledge and skills on how to build sustainable economic rural interventions for long-term economic impact. 3, capacitating AmaKhosi to create sustainable jobs and community wealth. 4, building an active rural citizenry who participate in and support economic development through mutually beneficial partnerships. And 5, supporting AmaKhosi to identify and utilize local natural resources in an environmentally sustainable way. His Majesty has instructed that from today onwards, no communication or engagement purporting to be from His Majesty will be issued without a covering letter from the Office of the Traditional Prime Minister. This intervention is made in order to circumvent unscrupulous individuals who seek to abuse and misappropriate the logo, royal crest, and even the signature of the king for their own fraudulent purposes. Members of the media, distinguished guests, members of the royal family, His Majesty is confident that the appointment of the Traditional Prime Minister and his deputy will usher in a new era of reconciliation, unity, and stability in the royal family and the Zulu nation at large. I thank you. That is the statement which I have read today, and just briefly a summary in Zulu. Ninabeselo ukusho ukuthi njengondunankulu kaZulu ngihamba nephini likaNdunankulu inkosi yaseMadungeni eduze kwakhe umntwana wakwaminya osehhovisini lesilo ecakwami umntwana wakwakhangela umntwana ubamba indlovu kaZwelithini eduze kwakhe umkhuzi wamabutho umntwana uvanana ehambisana nenduna umhlongo okungabadidiyeli bamabutho ekugcineni umnomzane uNyawo ongusihlalo womkhandlu wasoSuthu. Isilo-ke siyasho ukuthi uqokwa kukaNdunankulu waso nowesizwe nephini kuzodala uzinzo endlunkulu nasezweni sonke sikaZulu. Isilo sithi unyaka ka-2024 unyaka wokuthula nobumbano ukuze kuvuselelwe intshisekelo kaZulu nesithunzi sakhe. Isilo sishilo ukuthi ngomhla ka-12 March 2024 kuzokwembulwa isifuziselo noma itshe elikhumbula umdlokombane ingonyama uZwelithini kaBhekuzulu esesiqoshwe ondini. Kuthi ngomhla ka-27 April kuwo lonyaka kwembule isifuziselo selembe esilapha esikhumulweni seyindiza e-airport eThekwini. Silo sishilo ukuthi kuzoba nomkhosi noma inkonzo kwaNongoma ezokhumbula undunankulu kaZulu umntwana okwaphindangene ohlale kulesi sikhundla iminyaka engu-69 okunguye futhi undunankulu ohlale kakhulu kulesi sikhundla wakhonza phakathi kwezilo ezintathu. Isilo sishilo ukuthi yonke lemicimbi eyenziwayo yenziwa ngenjongo yokuvuselela ukuyigqaja ikakhulukazi kubantu abasha bakwaZulu. Ibutho eliqanjwe isilo esandlwane labantu abasha okuthiwa isilwa netshe kuzoqhutshekwa kuhanjwe izifunda zonke ukuze intsha ifakwe iqeqeshwe ingene kuleli butho. Ingonyama ibe isisho ukuthi ukuhlaselwa nokubulawa kwamakhosi kuyinto eyikhathaza kakhulu. Isilo ke sinethemba lokuthi uhulumeni wesifundazwe uzoqhamuka nezinhlelo zokuvikela impilo yamakhosi. Isilo sithe sifisa ukubona amakhosi ebamba iqhaza elibambekayo nelingcono ekuphathweni kwesikhwama ingonyama trust. Kangangokuthi isilo siyayibuza ukuthi sikhona yini isidingo sokuthi ingonyama trust amakhosi izwe labo baphathelwe ungqongqoshe. Sekudlule iminyaka engu-30 sisuze inkululeko. Amakhosi ayahluleka yini ukuyiphathela izwe kangangokuthi kumele aze aphathelwe ungqongqoshe eKapa na? Isilo sithi amakhosi aneyinhlaka eyisondele kubantu futhi eyisemthethweni ezingakwazi ukuphatha kangcono umhlaba. Ngaleyo ndlela isilo njengomnikazi weNgonyama Trust obambe iNgonyama Trust egameni lesizwe sakwaZulu, isilo sesingene esivumelwaneni nesikhungo okuthiwa i-National School of Government ukuze amakhosi aqeqeshwe ekuthenini umhlaba uphathwa kanjani, amathuba emisebenzi enziwa kanjani, nanokuthi umnotho wasemakhaya wakhiwa kanjani ngokuxhumana ukuze amakhosi akwazi ukuyiphilela nokuzenzela. Isilo sibe sesiyaleza ukuthi kusukela namhlanje akekho umuntu ozothi ukhulumela isilo noma uthunywe isilo noma kunomsebenzi awenzayo egameni lesilo uma singekho isigxivizo se-ofisi likaNdunankulu kaZulu. Kwenziwa lokho ukuze kugwemeke abantu abasebenzisa izimpawu zobukhosi ukuze beyinothise bona egameni lesihlalo. ngalawo mazwi ke amafuphi nina besilo abahlonishwa abavela kwabe indaba isilo sinethemba ukuthi uqokwa kaNdunankulu lo okhulumayo nephini lakhe kuzokwazi ukuthi kudale ukubuyisana nokusebenzisana nozinzo nokubambisana endlunkulu nasezweni sonke sikaZulu sonkana. Siyathokoza nina besilo. Angazi ke Msintuli uma mhlawumbe abafowethu kukhona abafisa ukuphawula noma imibuzo uzowazi ukusisiza ngaleyo program ukwazi ukubakhomba. No, yeah.
Colleagues, greeting. Thank you for coming to this press conference. We are going to take questions in Monday. We'll do 2 rounds. We'll take 5 questions each, and then the second round, questions of 5 by a show of hands. You better ubona abanembuzo. I note you. Pomola. Keskuben, I see your hand. Kalesake. Last question. I see your hand, I note your hand. Thank you. So, Sizokala Mamosho, can we be as brief as possible? Thank you.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngibingelele kubantwana uNdunankulu igama lami welcome wantobela isibongo ngisomsazweni noNgoma FM. Ngisacela ukubuza share uNdunankulu ukuthi uma uNdunankulu ethi akusekho umuntu ozokhipha itatimende zinganalo uphawu lika Prime Minister kumbeka phi okhulumela isilo futhi ingane mhlambe engekho la okhulumela ingonyama. Ngiyabonga.
Thanks very much. I have one question. If you say you are concerned about the control of the trust, and do you have any programs to make sure that you remove this trust under the control leadership of national government, but controlled by AmaZulu? What programs do you have?
This is Kubian Chetty from Independent Media. My question is, how will you adapt to the traditions and royal protocols, given that your predecessor had more than 6 decades of institutional knowledge? And then part of that is, how would you describe yourself? Are you a modernist? Are you a traditionalist? Or are you a combination of both? Thank you.
Siyazi ukuthi uNdunankulu ongasekho emhlabeni uyekhala kakhulu ukuthi lesikhundla asikho nje emthethweni mhlambe umasibhekwa ngokwahulumeni, so inkosi yakho siyazahambe ekhala ngalokho utheka ukuthi mhlambe wena unazo inkampani enhlelo zokusebenza ngoba siyazi akhona ibudget yalesikhundla uzokuya kuzobeni mhlambe mhlambe ngabe inhlelo zikhona mhlambe lesikhundla egcine mhlambe sigazethiwe isikhundla esi-official nje ngibona nje ukuthi uhulumeni akaze asicabange isikhundla silapho that mhlambe omunye umbuzo yona umuntu ngapha ukuthi mhlambe umkhulumeli wesilo usekhona mhlambe emsebenzini wakhe ngamanje.
Asithokoze nina besilo. Isilo samabandla sifisa ukudlulisa izilokotho zokufisela nokhalalisa iqembu lesizwe iBafana Bafana ngokunqoba kwalo emqhudelaneni iAfcon. Isilo sinxusa bonke abantu baseNingizimu Afrika ukuthi beseke iqembu lethu iBafana Bafana, futhi isilo sinesiqiniseko sokuthi iBafana Bafana izokwazi ukusimela ize ifike egcineni iwunqobe umqhudelwano. Kulokhu ke okubuzwa abafowethu benongoma FM, silapha sithunywe isilo njengoba ubona abantwana basendlunkulu belapha, ubona inkosi uChiliza ilapha njengo Deputy Prime Minister, ubona izinduna zilapha. Ngakho ke sizokwenza lokho esithunywe isilo. Ukuthi ubani okekho ubani okhona angeke sikuphendule lokho. Kodwa sizokwenza umsebenzi wesizwe ngokuthunywa imbube. Umbuzo futhi oqhamuka SABC weNgonyama Trust. Ngibona sengathi isilo sichazile ukuthi iziphi inhlelo zokuqeqeshwa kwamakhosi eseyizoqala ukuze icijise amakhosi ngamakhono nolwazi nobuholi abazobudlala uma iNgonyama Trust isisondele siphethwe amakhosi. Ngakho ngibona sengathi isilo sikucacisile lokho ukuthi iziphi inhlelo ezikhona nezisazokwenzeka. My brother Kupen Chetty asked if I'm a traditionalist or a modernist. Yeah, I think it's quite irrelevant whether I'm a traditionalist or modernist, but I'm here to serve and to execute the wishes of the king. And in this position which I occupy as Prime Minister, my primary aim is to be the senior advisor to His Majesty and to be the principal spokesperson of His Majesty. So there is no role for me to be a modernist or a traditionalist. Mine is to obey the instructions of the king and to do what I am told to do, starting as we have done today, to convey the wishes of His Majesty. Angazi noma khona sikushilo.
There was a question from Uvelem Kumola. Are there any plans of making this office an official office for
Akukho esingakwenza Madungeni, mhlawumbe inkosi uChiliza iphini lika Ndunankulu lingakwazi ukukhuluma kulolu daba. Kodwa ke uhulumeni onamandla ukuthi agunyaze leli office libesemthethweni. Kodwa angiboni ukuthi kuyokwenzeka lokho ngoba ngisho amakhosi kwamanje kuma local house awanayo ibudget amakhosi. Kodwa kuthiwa uhulumeni uyawahlonipha. Ngisho siyofaka amapipe amanzi njengomeya mangiwafaka amapipe mangithandile inkosi ngiyayithinta mangithandela ngiyithinta. Ngakho ke amakhosi azichuse nje ngaphansi kwalo hulumeni. Ngakho kokulindela ukuthi khona okungcono okungenziwa uhulumeni ukucabangela ioffice likaNdunankulu kaZulu. Angiboni ukuthi kungenzeka ngoba kwamanje amakhosi basibuka indlela aphathwa ngayo nezinsiza kusebenza ezingekho. Siyabona ukuthi kusekude kakhulu phambili, kodwa ngazi noma uDeputy Prime Minister khona ngakusho Madungeni.
Shenge angithokoze kakhulu bantwana basendlunkulu nabendlovu abahlonishwa abaqhamuka kwezindaba ezihlukahlukene. Njengoba usuchazile, siyafisa ukukhumbuza izwe nje laseNingizimu Afrika nomhlaba wonke jikelele ukuthi uhulumeni ufike ubukhosi buvele buyigovernance uma ubuyele emuva okwenziwa isilo akukusha namhlanje akuyena undunankulu wesizwe samaZulu uqala lo even umntwana wakaphinda ngene kukhona undunankulu abebekhona bengalawulwa bengabekelwa migomo iqiniso liphelele lisekuthini ukuhlanganisa ke lesakhiwo sentando yeningi nesimo sobukhosi uma inhloso inye kithi sonke ukuthi kube nokuthula kube noxolo kube nokuhlonishwa kwesigaba sobukhosi kuyofanele zonke lezi inhlaka ngoba phela masingakhuluma iqiniso even ubuyela einhlakeni ezinye ezisungulwe nje kamuva kunesigaba sikaNdunankulu kaZulu zazingazange zazaba khona zazingazange zazaba nama budget kodwa ngenxa yaloko okuthiwa i-political will kwakwazi ukuthi kube khona i-budget kusho ke ukuthi isizwe samaZulu seloko sathi inhlo uma sikhuluma ngesilo ucetshwayo empini yasesandlwane ingoba sasuhulumeni namabutho nondunankulu waso kufanele kuhlonishwe lokho ke kwenziwe zonke inhlelo ezithi uma sisentandweni yeningi intando yeningi ayihloniphe uAfrika bethu ngendlela efanele.
Do we have more questions? Noted. Where am I? Okay, noted. Okay.
My name is Vusi Kumar from SABC News. Umntwana waphinda ngene, may his soul rest in peace. He has tried all his life to make sure that the roles that he played both politically and this of being the traditional prime minister to three Zulu kings have never been confused. Some will say that they have been misunderstood, or some of them have been confused, to the extent that some of these political enemies were saying that he was using this position to mobilize support for his political party. With you, with a strong background of the IFP, of course, as well as being the mayor of the IFP-controlled Zululand district municipality, and now in this position, how will you ensure that these two roles are not being intertwined and also they're not being confused by the people out there? Thanks.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Ndunankulu, ngisacela nje ukuba nemibuzo emibili. Umbuzo wokuqala Ndunankulu Shenge, ngicabanga ukuthi uzothinta okuyitohwana. Umuntu aphathisa ukuthi akubuze ngabe bona abantu ukuthi kune-media briefing ebizwe u-Prime Minister. Ngisacela ukubuza ukuthi uShenge, nanjengoba eseqoka njengo-Prime Minister, lokho sekusho ukuthi mhlawumbe naye kungenzeka nobe khona amathuba ukuthi abonge ngoba lokho kwebonisa amatoho kubantu abangamaciko makukhona nje mhlawumbe sekunosika kaNdunankulu lokho kungandisa amathuba omsebenzi khona nenhlelo njengalezo zokwandisa amathuba omsebenzi Shenge. Esibili Shenge lena ethi zikhona nezinhlelo zokuthula kwaMntwana omkhulu kungenzekani sibone kwenzeka noma ngakabi nazo kakhulukazi ukukhosi bakwaZulu. Ngiyabonga.
Shenge, cha no. Lo mbuzo nje sokuthi for i-clarity. Mhlawumbe ngizwile uShenge uthe uma sesifuna i-comment yasemvubulo. Lo sokusibuza kuyena kuzama ukuthi abhale kwi-office likaShenge. Mhlawumbe lo njengalo bezindaba kuyasiphazamisa delay umsebenzi wethu bekuthela mhlawumbe kwasinika ilungelo ukuthi go direct esiyofisi lakhe sisebenzisa abantu abazofuna approval kushaya yabona bese ifasitete ukuthi
ngithokoze nina besilo abantwana basendlunkulu Madungeni pheneli kaNdunankulu kaZulu. Eminye imibuzo ngizodlulisela kumntwana wakwaminya. Kodwa kuyinqophamlando lokho kwenziwe iNgonyama ngoba abantu abaningi asebebhalele iNgonyama namakhosi ancomile ukuthi iNgonyama ikwazi ukuqoka iphini likaNdunankulu kaZulu, ikakhulukazi oqhamuka ngapha eningizimu wesifundazwe, ukuze abantu besilo abagcwele isifundazwe sonke, abagcwele i-Eastern Cape, abagcwele iGauteng bekwazi ukunakeka ngokuthi lapha ehhovisini likaNdunankulu kaZulu sekunephini. Bengithi ke i-media izokuncoma nakho lokho. I think my brother from the SABC says there may be people who may be confused about my role as an IFP leader and also as traditional Prime Minister. I think His Majesty, when he made the announcement, was very clear about the type of expectations that he has in the Prime Minister and the type of conduct which the traditional Prime Minister should show. Therefore, I don't think there will be people who are confused, because the role which I am playing now is the role which is serving His Majesty, and there is no political influence or any political favor which will accrue to any political party out of this role. Mhlambe ke kule yenyosi njoba esho mfowethu eNongoma FM siyathanda ukuthi amaciko athuthuke, ngakho kayohleze khona amathuba ukuthi amaciko athuthuke. Mhlambe ke ngiyocela ukuthi ngidedele umntwana kwaminya aphendule eminye imibuzo ebuziwe ilaba beindaba labezethu ndaba.
Mthokoze nabesilo uNdunankulu wethu uShenge Inkosi yaseMadungeni, umntwana wakhangela umntwana bambidlovu sihlalo wethu womkhandlo sosuthu ubaba uNyawo nabesilo zinduna zeNgonyama zonke abeindaba. Cha siyathokoza Shenge. Oqala nabenzo siqala sibonga ukuthi iNgonyama yethu kufikele isikhathi lesokuthi isiqole uNdunankulu, ngoba sekusele isikhala phakathi kwesizwe ukuthi umntwana wakhe nangena uhambile uwenzile umsebenzi wakhe, umntwana omuhle emhlabeni, sengathi umoya wakhe ngabulala ngokuthula. Uwenzile umntwana umsebenzi wakhe omuhle ngokukhulu kwethembeka esizweni, ngokukhulu futhi kwethembeka emakhosini lawa abebusa ngaphansi kwawo amathathu. Kwaze kwafika ithuba ke lokuthi uyahamba emhlabeni ngizathu yaNkulunkulu kwelezo. Kodwa nje kafishane ukuya embuzweni kaMahlobo, ngiyafisa ukucacisa ukuthi umntwana omkhulu akaqoka, uyazala. Umntwana omkhulu. Umntwana omkhulu futhi uzalwa inkosi, akazalwa umntwana. Mhlambe singathi ukuvela kwesikhundla somntwana omkhulu isilo sawo nodwengu inkosi umpande yanodlikulo abaningi kwesilo sawo nodwengu, kodwa phakathi kwaso owazala iNgonyama wabayedwa okwaba uNdlovukazi uNgqombazi wakwaZungu. wathi mase sizale silucetshwayo ke wasizala umntwana omkhulu wakwamunye kuba umntwana uNdabuko uthe ingonyama ke ukucetshwayo siba ingonyama ngoba abaningi abantwana abazalwa abanye ondlunkulu besilo kwase kuthiwa lo ozalwa naye ngonyama esiswini yena useba umntwana omkhulu ngoba uzalwa ngonyama kuphi esiswini manje ke sikulindele ukuthi ingonyama yobesigcina nje isiko ukuthi imemezele ukuthi ubani oyoba umntwana omkhulu kodwa akusikhona ukuthi singalindela ukuthi akuqokwa ingonyama nje yomemezela isikhathi sayo eyobona ngaso ukuthi kufuneka isho kusemthethweni kwazi ukuthi nawe umntwana omkhulu ngesayo isikhathi ilokho nje nabesilo ukuthi umntwana omkhulu asimlindele ukuthi umntwana ingonyama yomemezela isikhathi sayo kodwa akaqoka umntwana omkhulu uyazala uzele umntwana omkhulu khona iyomusho ngalelo langa ukuthi yena mufi ngiyathokoza
mhlawumbe asibonge kakhulu nina besilo abantwana basendlunkulu eyinduna abafowethu abaqhamuka ku media. There are copies of the press statement which would be available at the back from Ms. Ntuli for all members of the media who wish to have a copy of the remarks that we have said here. But thank you once again for honoring our invitation, and we do hope to